Welcome back, beautiful, beloved souls. This is mainly a commentary channel where I look at anything and everything through a lens, hence the name of the channel. For those of you who are new, my name is Gem Stone. I'm a psychic medium and I am an author. All right, I again going to dedicate this to a new friend. His name is Clark and he's recovering from a medical procedure and he lives in the United States. I just want to say hi. I also, just because I'm dedicating it to him doesn't mean I'm not grateful for every view. And I know there's quite a few of you who are very loyal, who do watch every video. People like Lorenzo, Sam, the guy in India, and even a few ladies. Thank you for being here. If I forgot to name you, I am sorry, but thank you for being here. Lately, I've been uploading a lot of videos about consciousness because it fascinates me. I've done at university both philosophy and sociology. And I actually, as I said, I'm an author and I wrote a sociological book many years ago called The Social World. And the funny thing was, at university, I was very good at psychology. And when it came to sociology, I was like lucky to pass. One of the lecturers said, because you're so good at psychology is why you can't see sociology, because they tend to look at sociology in a broad way, where I think sociology starts with the individual. Without the individual, there'd be no society. But that's my view. All right, let's get on with the commentary. Are we trapped inside our own reality? Every conscious being lives inside a world it can never step outside of. Blah, blah. I won't edit it. You know, I like to keep my videos authentic. Okay. A few days ago, I had an unexpected visitor. Actually, I had many unexpected visitors. Ants. They had somehow discovered my printer and decided this was the perfect place to explore. Now, on one level, this was a practical problem. I needed to know where they were coming from. I needed to know if they had built a nest. I needed to remove them safely. But while watching these tiny creatures moving along their little pathways, another thought entered my mind. What does the world look like to an ant? Does an ant know I exist? From the ant's perspective, I am not a person sitting here worrying about them. I am simply something enormous in their environment, a moving object, a change in their landscape, perhaps a vibration, perhaps a disturbance. The ant has no concept of my thoughts, my memories, my emotions, my entire human world. And then I wondered, could we humans be in exactly the same position when it comes to understanding reality? Could there be aspects of existence around us that we simply cannot perceive because our consciousness has limits? The human assumption, we are at the top. Humans have always had a tendency to place ourselves at the top of the evolutionary ladder. We look at intelligence, language, technology, our ability to build cities and explore space. And we conclude that we are the highest forms of consciousness on Earth. But perhaps we have confused intelligence with consciousness. An ant cannot build a skyscraper. But does that mean an ant has no awareness? A dog cannot write a philosophy book. But does that mean a dog experiences no inner world? A bird cannot explain migration, but it can navigate across continents. A bee sees colors humans cannot see. A dog smells information we cannot even imagine. A bat experiences the world through sound. Every creature exists inside a different version of reality. Perhaps evolution did not create one perfect way of experiencing the universe. Perhaps it created billions of different perspectives. What is reality? This brings us to a much deeper question. What exactly is reality? Most of us assume reality is simply what is outside us. The chair, the room, the trees, the planet, the universe. But neuroscience tells us something fascinating. We do not experience the world directly. Light enters our eyes. Sound waves enter our ears. Signals travel through our nervous systems. The brain produces these signals and then creates our experience. The color blue does not enter our brain. The brain creates the experience of blue. The sound of music does not physically exist inside our mind. The brain transforms vibrations into an experience. We are constantly creating a model of reality, a model that allows us to survive, but it is still a model. The illusion of up and down. Even something simple as up and down reveals how limited our perspective is. We say we are standing upright, but upright compared to what? On Earth, gravity gives us a clear sense of direction. Our feet are down, our head is up. But if you look at Earth from space, there is no universal up or down. Someone standing on the opposite side of the planet is also standing upright from their perspective. Their feet point towards the center of Earth. Our experience of direction is created by our relationship with our environment. It feels absolute, but it is actually relative. And this raises a fascinating question. How many other things do we experience as absolutely simply because we are human? The bubble of consciousness. Every person lives inside their own consciousness. This is one of the strangest facts about existence. I can sit beside another person. I can love them. I can know them for decades, but I will never experience being them. I cannot enter their thoughts. I cannot enter or feel their memories. I cannot experience their pain exactly as they experience it. I can empathize, I can imagine, I can listen, but I never leave my own point of awareness, and they never leave theirs. Every conscious being lives inside a world it can never completely step outside of. We are all looking through our own window into reality. Pain, suffering, and individual reality. This is why pain is such an interesting example. Someone may say, I understand your pain, but do we? We understand the concept of pain. We recognize the signs. We may have experienced something similar, but nobody has felt your exact pain. Your body, your history, your memories, your emotions, your interpretations. Your suffering belongs uniquely to your consciousness. The worst day of one person's life cannot be measured against another person's worst day because each experience happens inside a different inner universe. The reality we inherit. But even our own inner universe is not created entirely by us. We inherit reality. Think about that. Before we could question anything, we were already receiving information. Our language, our culture, our beliefs, our ideas about right and wrong, our understanding of ourselves, our understanding of the world. Our ancestors handed down knowledge. Our families shaped our perceptions. Our education created frameworks. Our experience created patterns. We often believe we see reality objectively, but we are looking through layers and layers of interpretation. Culture is one of the strongest examples. Something considered normal in one society may be strange in another. Something considered acceptable in one era may be unacceptable in another. So, what is reality? Perhaps there is the event itself, and then there is the meaning consciousness gives that event. The philosophy of doubt. This question has fascinated philosophers for thousands of years. The philosopher René Descartes, René Descartes asked, how do we know anything is real? How do we know our senses are trustworthy? How do we know we are not being deceived? His famous conclusion was, I think, therefore I am. Even if everything else could be questioned, the fact that there is awareness experiencing the questioning proves something exists. There is an experiencer. There is consciousness. But Descartes also revealed a fascinating problem. We can know our own awareness exists, but how can we prove another consciousness exists? I cannot directly experience your mind. I only observe your actions. This is called the problem of other minds. The spiritual perspective. Many spiritual traditions have approached this mystery differently. Instead of consciousness being something created by individuals, some traditions suggest consciousness is the foundation of existence itself, that we are not separate beings who occasionally experience connection. We are consciousness experiencing itself through separate viewpoints, like one light shining through many windows. Each window gives a different color, a different perspective, a different experience. Yet, behind all those expressions is the same light. From this perspective, perhaps individuality is real, but temporary. Perhaps we are both the individual and the whole, the drop and the ocean. The unknown beyond human perception. And this brings us back to the ants. Imagine an ant trying to understand a human. Could it? Not because the ant is foolish, but because its reality does not contain the concepts required. It has evolved within a particularly sensory world, a particular scale, a particular form of awareness. Perhaps humans are similar. Perhaps there are aspects of reality beyond our current ability to perceive, not because we are unintelligent, but because consciousness has limits. A fish cannot imagine walking on land. A human may not be able to imagine every possible form of existence. In closing, maybe consciousness is created by the brain. Maybe consciousness is something much larger that the brain connects to. Maybe reality exists exactly as we perceive it. Maybe perception is only a small window into something far greater. The truth is, we do not know. But perhaps the most important discovery is not finding the final answer. Perhaps it is recognizing our limitations. The ants in my printer reminded me of something. That little creature was living an entire life. It had a world, a purpose, a reality, and from its perspective, my enormous human existence was completely outside its understanding. Maybe we are not so different. Maybe every conscious being is living inside a universe of its own experience, looking outward, wondering, trying to understand. And perhaps the greatest mystery is not whether consciousness exists. Perhaps the greatest mystery is that consciousness exists at all. And somewhere through us, the universe has become aware enough to ask the question. All right. Thank you, beautiful, beloved souls. If you are going to leave a comment, I ask you do so respectfully. The more you go down the rabbit hole of consciousness, the more questions you have. I hope you will join with me and the next time we look at consciousness. Please be kind to a stranger. Smile at a stranger and be kind to each other. Always be kind to strangers anyway, because my belief is we are the universe experiencing itself. Every time you hurt or harm another, you're hurting yourself. Take care of yourselves because you matter. love, light, and blessings. See you on the other side. I'll be away tomorrow, so back on the weekend. Bye.